What's up, everyone? Jason Gilbo here with Nick Tasso, breaking down some stacks for tonight's slate. You and I hopped in chat just a little while ago and tossed in our three, and Tigers were both our top stacks, which even with the possibility of Victor Martinez being out and Miguel Cabrera, I mean, it's still a loaded offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we touched on it the other day. Sometimes it's hard doing a stack of the Tigers on DraftKings because you can't really fit them in, both of them. So it might be beneficial, and we might see some guys a little bit higher in the order, which might benefit both of us if we're playing them. But like you said, they still have JD Martinez in there, Justin Upton, Kinsler still leading off. Castellanos is still okay, and who knows, maybe we'll see some Collins in there and in a decent spot.
Yeah, I mean, could see Collins, could see Alex Avila. So, I mean, there's definitely not some bad options. It's not an expensive stack. I mean, this is one that's been going off the last couple of days. Martinez has been absolutely on fire. I against Nick Martinez, I mean, I like this team once again. I'm expecting them to be a little bit chalkier than they have in the past couple of days, but it's fine with me.
Yeah, I don't like attacking my namesake over there with Nick, but you know what? Like I talked to you last time, sometimes DFS matters more than your name.
It does. It does. Luckily, I don't have any good pitchers that are named Jason.
You had Jason Isringhausen for a while.
Yeah, but, well, starting pitchers.
All right, Jason Hamill, circa 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I guess. That's true.
Now, not that good at all, but
No,
it is what
awful.
it is.
Back to Nick Martinez, though, allowing a 3.35 WOBA to righties this year, 2.04 home runs per nine. A low strikeout candidate. I mean, over his career, he's been awful. I know he's pitched most of his games in Texas, but warm weather. I know, you were kind of anti-ballpark last time, and now you're coming around.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we talked about a few years ago, they moved the fences in. So I'm definitely all about this team. They clearly show that they can hit well at home. Like you said, a good amount of offense the past few days. And I just think they're one of those teams that's red hot right now.
Yep. Moving on here, we start to split away from the same stacks. You're looking at Chicago White Sox here going up against Ariel Miranda in Safeco. This team's been pretty good against lefties. I mean, they got a fair amount of right-handed bats.
Yeah, absolutely. And over the last 7 days, they rank fourth right now in runs scored. And I mean, they're not as bad as they once were. And like you said, going up against lefties, they've been pretty good this year. They have a bunch of right-handed hitters. Obviously, Jose Abreu has been turning it on as well. And even Frazier hit a home run too. So I think things are slowly coming around for this offense. I'm not sure how long this is going to go for, but against a mediocre pitcher in Miranda, I kind of like my chances here.
Yeah, Brady's been coming around. I mean, Avisel Garcia's been red hot. I mean, they moved up a couple of guys. I know Larry Garcia left last night's game, but Yolmer Sanchez, I mean, these guys have been actually really strong at the top of the order. I mean, solid value plays in and out of stacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen some power too from them. Again, over the past week, the 12 home runs. So that's almost in the top five. And just one of those things when you're playing DFS, you kind of need those long balls. I know Seattle isn't the best, but like we said last time, it does play a little bit small at times. And having a pitcher like Miranda really could affect things.
Yeah, definitely. Second stack for me, looking at the Mets, hoping this one flies under the radar. I was kind of torn with them and a couple other teams, but I'm going to go with the lower ownership play here. Mets top half in WOBA and ISO over the last 2 weeks. Conforto, Neil Walker playing really well. Jay Bruce starting to kind of come back down to earth a little bit, but we know the power he has. Just against Ricky and Velasco, I mean, I know he's been worse off against righties and lefties, which isn't a big deal to this Mets lineup because he's still not missing a ton of bats. 10% strikeout rate drop going up against lefties. This offense just has a ton of power. I mean, Conforto, Rivera, Bruce, Walker, all with solid ISO numbers against right-handed pitching in their career, and at reasonable prices as well.
Yeah, I think it will be a lower ownership for the Mets, and that benefits you definitely if you're playing them. But me, I'm probably staying off. They just haven't shown a lot lately that I really like. I know they blasted it a week or so ago, but recently I'm just not feeling it. I know you hate hearing this, but ballpark kind of is a factor for me. Not a huge fan of the new City Field. So that's kind of where I'm at. I can totally see playing it because you will get low ownership and they do have potential against Nolasco, but it's not feeling it for me.
All right. So with your third stack, then you're heading to Petco Park. So what do you like about that ballpark, then, sir?
What I like about Petco, do you know who's starting tonight for Petco
Jared Weaver,
or for the
but
Padres?
yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
still.
yeah. I'm just saying, you know how I really am a huge fan of attacking Jared Weaver. So that's all I really have to say. I know we have Arizona, who is a fantastic ball club offensively, still tops in almost every list. And even though they're leaving Chase Field, I think they've played a few games at Petco to know how to really destroy Jared Weaver tonight.
Yeah, I mean the stolen base upside's there for me. I like. I guess it just kind of depends on what that lineup does. No AJ Pollock. If David Peralta's out again, I mean it's kind of hard using some of those guys. I mean you will get a couple cheap guys like Blanco who'll be up in the top of the lineup. But like it's Lamb and Goldschmidt they always have that huge upside.
Yeah, absolutely. Those two guys are my favorite, obviously, for the slate. And then just wait and see what you got for the rest of the lineup. It might be a little funky, like you said. Pollock's been out, so um, good guys at good prices, and kind of go from there. In addition, though, because it is Petco, you'll typically see ownership rates really drop. So if Goldschmidt or Lamb or even someone else has a really good game, you might get them at a cheaper ownership rate or
Yep,
low, not cheap.
Yep, no, that's definitely true. These West Coast games definitely draw a lot of lower ownership. Houston's my third stack here. They've been playing really well over the last few weeks. Carlos Correa starting to heat up. Trevor Bauer, I mean, he's just such a wild card. I mean, the strikeout rate can be high at times. But this year, I mean, walk rate, home runs are an issue. 405 WOBA to lefties, 6 home runs allowed, 344 WOBA to righties. So I don't even mind, Carlos Beltran, Brian McCann as guys that you can toss in the stack as well. Ton of hard contact in Minute Maid. Astros third highest WOBA against right-handed pitching. And I think going this year, I mean, their strikeout rate, 18.3% against right-handed pitching. Going back to like the last few years, I mean, that was up over 22, 23%. So, I mean, they've really cut that down, which is why I like them quite a bit this season. They're also fourth in the league in runs per game. So, they'll be expensive, but I think people tend to shy away from paying for a whole stack. And you can also differ yourself using a couple of the other cheaper names.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. Going back to that strikeout rate, it clearly is shown that they're now more disciplined as a whole because that most of the core of that team was a little bit younger a year or two ago, and now they've kind of come into their own sort of in a little bit better spots and are seeing balls a little bit better. So I definitely like this team. Like you said, it is going to be expensive, but at the end of the day, Trevor Bauer to me is very much like Francisco Liriano. I know the equation, but guys who could come in there and shut you out, or they're a guy who could walk you and just cause so much trouble for themselves and then be out in about 2 innings. I know we haven't really seen too much of the old Bauer this year, but it's definitely plausible against this team tonight.
Yeah, it definitely is. Uh, Anyone else that was kind of the odd man or maybe on the fence for you is getting into the top three?
One of my guys or one of my teams would be the Rockies. I always like them. I mean, when you have Charlie Blackmon leading off, he has so much potential against basically a no-name starting pitcher. Things could really happen, and even in the ballpark, it's not even a huge issue for me going from Coors to Cincinnati.
No, I'm with you too. I think they were the one that I was on the fence about as well. Yeah, I mean Blackman, Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado, Ian Desmond. I mean, tremendous upside here against a Reds team in that ballpark.
And even DJ LeMahieu, he hits typically second, so you gotta like someone who hits up in that order.
Yeah, so I think they were just kind of the odd man. So I mean, if you're building multiple lineups, don't be afraid to get a Rocky stack in there too.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind a contrarian Dodgers tonight, but I have my concern, so we will see.
Yeah. Dodgers are a team that just burned me last night. It was like I think Bellinger had the bases loaded once, Grandal had the bases loaded once, a couple double play balls. It was frustrating to watch.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see that. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, and keep trying some nights and against against a young pitcher. I think they might have a chance tonight. Just don't like the lefty matchup. So
Yeah, that's one thing that's tough. But let's grab things up
it's
here.
good
You
for
can head over,
everybody,
Dave. It is. I mean, you'll definitely get some low
because no one's
ownership.
going to do it because they have so many lefties. So there you go.
If they move a
All right,
couple
I'll be
guys
quiet.
around, I mean, it might work.
Kiki and Franklin Gutierrez.
Yeah, and if they can get Puig up in the order, I mean, I don't know who else we'll see. Chris
We've actually
Taylor.
been hitting the ball pretty well.
Yeah, I mean,
Which they keep him down in order. I don't get why he's still down there, but it just
yeah, I mean, I would like to see him get moved up.
well, maybe next week when we talk, he'll be up.
Thanks for the wise words of encouragement, Nick.
I'm just trying to be positive today, guys. It's a Friday. It's beautiful weather, depending where you are at. And you got the weekend ahead. Hopefully, no more nor'easters.
That's true. So let's grab things up here. You can head over to DaveHansCafe.com for our great tools and content.